Steelers Nation, it is time for a real live regular season Steelers football game, and we've got you covered from top to the bottom here on the Still City Insider podcast. And we're going to jump right into it. It's a Tomlin Tuesday. Jim, any news out of the press conference?
There's a little bit. I mean, it's exciting that he seemed excited about Isaac Seumalo being week to week. He's out this week, but we were told Isaac Seumalo, the left guard, important because the rookie center is going to need a veteran to lean on both sides. Isaac's the best offensive lineman they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's supposedly injured for a month. I mean, he missed a lot of time at camp, and so they got used to playing without him. But still, to hear he was out for a month, I think really, really depressed is a strong word, but really was a downer for Steelers fans, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's a veteran offensive lineman, and they need that
on a young offensive line. That really the arrow's pointing up. If you have a veteran like him in there now, without him, it has a chance for disaster because there's so many young guys, young talented guys, but young guys playing some in their first game. Zach Frazier, the center. So okay, Isaac Seumalo is week to week now instead of 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
So that's really about the only news. There's some minor things in there. I think you picked up some things.
Yeah, so it was a mundane Tomlin presser, but you're talking about the offensive line. Spencer Anderson, he talked about, is going to be in there at guard. And he made a comparison to Kelvin Beachum, which I thought was interesting. But what about the tackles? Did he talk at all about the tackles?
Well, he's pretty vague about the tackles, but, I quoted in my story today in the locker room. Dan Moore says, I'm playing left tackle. Broderick said last week, I'm pretty sure I'll be playing right tackle. And Fautano, the first-round draft pick, has been injured for 3 weeks now, and he didn't practice Monday. So he's coming back to practice this week. You could put 2 and 2 together. Tomlin was vague. I can't really say who practiced first team at tackle Monday, but Dan Moore says I'm playing left tackle, and last week Broderick said I'm playing right tackle. So take it from there.
Right. Yeah, we could read between the lines there. So, but it'll be interesting. That's been one of the most talked about things this offseason has been the offensive line. And just going back over to Seumalo, they at least dodged a bullet that he's not out for the entire year. So I know it's a month, but at least
that was supposed to make us happy last week when they said it was only a month. But I think everybody's like, oh, a month. I mean, they really need this guy.
Yeah.
Especially with a rookie center.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely gonna test this unit early on, and against the Falcons. We'll talk about the Falcons a little bit later. But Jim, I also wanted to talk about your piece today from the Still City Insider. Make sure you're checking that out. But it sounds like
let me get this in, Jeremy. 75% off till midnight. If you can get this YouTube podcast out there by midnight tonight, Jeremy.
All right.
Might get a few more sales. Okay, go ahead.
I'll get it up there
today.
Yes. So Peyton Wilson, he's running with the ones quite a bit.
Well, that's what he says, and this was a Monday practice, and we always have to keep in mind that it's a bonus practice. So in the past, opening week is a little different, but in the past, they want to give these rookies more time. So it could have been just that. I don't want to say that he's running with he's going to start the game, but man, they're really giving him a lot of work, and he's one of the top rookies. So Zach Frazier is going to start. Beanie Bishop's going to start. He's undrafted. He may not start. He may not get in the lineup if they don't use a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they use 5 DBs like a lot of teams use on the first play, then Beanie starts. So that's 2 rookies. I wouldn't bet on Peyton Wilson starting, but he's getting a lot of work, as he admitted, and he has a great understanding. And I asked him, I said, what's the best advice you got from these veterans? He goes, man, Landon Roberts and Patrick Queen sit in front of me, and all they do is talk ball in the meetings. And I just listen to them. I mean, that's perfect. Isn't that perfect? An eager rookie that's listening in over their shoulders, and 2 veterans talking ball, not jerking around like, say Jeremy, me and you were in a meeting. we'd be jerking around, you know?
We would be. And yeah, it's definitely good to hear that studiousness, that focus coming through. But this is shaping up to be a pretty, I don't want to say remarkable, but a potential laden rookie group, not just from the players who've been drafted, but you also mentioned Beanie Bishop, undrafted guy who's getting an opportunity. So, I mean, this could shape up to be a nice class.
Well, then, Fautano, he's just waiting in the wings for something to open
Yeah.
up. So I mean, he's a tackle, but who knows? I mean, keep getting injuries at guard, who knows? But things happen, and we'll see. So that's a good rookie to have in reserve. Give me some other rookies' names. What do they
McCormick,
call it? Brain fart.
Mason McCormick.
Now, Mason McCormick, a lot of people thought he would step into that left guard spot, but let's not throw too many rookies in there.
Mhm.
Spencer Anderson's a second-year guy, was a seventh-round draft pick. That's how he drew comparisons to Calvin Beachum.
Mhm.
Beachum didn't start as a rookie, but I think he came in like the fifth game his rookie year to play left tackle, and he was a guard before that. So he was drafted in the seventh round to move around. He could play center too. And Spencer Anderson. So there's the comparison with Beachum from Tomlin today.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to play. I mean, Mason McCormick, we may look back and say, wow, how did he not step right in?
Mhm.
But he's a rookie. Try to keep as many rookies out of the lineup to start the season, especially on offensive line, especially when you have your most veteran guy is out.
Yeah. And the Steelers have had success in the past with undrafted free agent linemen. And as we're sitting here talking, I was like, Ramon Foster, man, if Anderson could come through even remotely close to the level of performance he put out there, that would be, quite the surprise.
And Ramon, undrafted, and they considered drafting him in the seventh. So let's call him an eighth round draft pick. So he was right down with them, and he never played center, but he was a guard tackle.
Hmm.
Those versatile guys get drafted late, hang around. And Ramon was a tackle until he got moved to guard. He played left guard where Spencer Anderson stepping in. So yeah, it's a nice call, Jeremy.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jim. I'm glad I could hit something right
Hey,
here.
man, we're all undefeated, as Mike Tomlin kept saying. If you're not in a good mood when you're undefeated, then you're never going to be in a good mood.
That's true. And speaking of being in good moods, it seems that Jaylen Warren is going to be available for week 1. You had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. I asked him if he ever returned kickoffs, and he said I was only the up back. I said never in high school. He goes no. Never in college. He goes no. This dude gained 3,000 yards his senior year of high school. And they didn't have him return kickoffs. So I said, are you going to return him here? And he said, they tell me that they'll kick away from our other guy, the Hall of Famer, Cordero Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaylen, in so many words, kind of hinted that he's going to be the other guy. You remember Najee Davenport returning kickoffs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think who's the other bigger back? The kid from Minnesota, Gary Russell. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember Gary
Goal
Russell.
line back. He returned.
Mm-hmm.
Tomlin likes those big backs back there. And now this is interesting with the kick coverage. And doesn't get that full running start. So the bigger backs are going to hurt these guys more.
Yeah.
So Cordero Patterson and Jaylen Warren, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
And so does Jaylen. I said, you never, you worried about, you never have done this? He goes, all I'm worried about is catching the ball. And then I do my thing, just catch the ball. He can catch. He's all right. He'll be all right.
He's a gamer, man. He could do it all. He could do it all.
Thought it was odd that I asked about being nervous. So.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as the nervous type. And Jim, one last thing that just hit me, I didn't think about, and we didn't talk about before we came on here, but contract status. I know we're still waiting to hear if Freiermuth is going to get done or Hayward, but that's once the season starts, that's off the table, correct?
Right.
Okay. So at this point, that's not going to happen.
Well, no, you got another 6 days. Freiermuth expects it to happen, and Hayward says there's got to be some other things happen, and he didn't say it real happily, but they've got the money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take it all the way up till they get to the airport to go to Atlanta on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. So we'll see. So speaking of Atlanta, Jim, it's the first regular season game of the year for the Steelers here. The last time they played, and I got a nugget I want to throw out here because I know you're the Steelers historian. But 1916 victory, December 2022. The Steelers have won the last four against the Falcons. But speaking of Gary Russell and some of those players from the 2000s, I wrote about, or just wrote down in my notes here, the 34-34 tie.
Oh yeah.
The Tommy Maddox pass, the Plaxico burst came up just short. Man, what a game. Maybe we'll get something as exciting this weekend.
It really was a great game. Michael Vick, it really was a great game. I mean, coming up short like that kind of reminds you of the Tennessee Titans and Rams in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Fisher's team, Steve McNair, came up a yard short. The guy was reaching the ball, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then the Steelers traded or signed that tackler in free agency. But I'm rambling now. So what were you getting at? They won the last four against Atlanta?
It's Atlanta. So we got our first game. It's the Atlanta Falcons, just giving some history there of some of the contests that have happened in the past. Now, they don't have Michael Vick. They have somewhat of a statue there, quarterback, and Kirk Cousins. But, heading into this contest, again, in this NFC opponent, what should we expect from the Steelers team this year? And what do you think we're going to see on Sunday?
All right. I got some nuggets of my own here.
All right.
Last time, when Marquise Pouncey started his rookie career at center in the opener, they beat the Falcons.
Mm.
He also, Kendrick Green started the opener as a rookie center, and they won that game. And someone in the comments last week, remember I said I should check 1956, but I never checked. Someone in the comments checked and said they won that one too. So the Steelers are 3-0 when they start a rookie center in the opener. All right, wow. That's one thing. And you said the statue. I want to see a pass rush. Nick Herbig's not bad. Did you notice that in preseason?
Yes, yes. Underline, bold, all caps.
I don't know if I'm breaking news here, but he's not bad.
No.
I want to see Nick Herbig, not Nate Herbig, Nick Herbig, TJ, and Alex Highsmith on the field together rushing the passer. That statue, against that statue. That's what I want to see. All right? I want to see that. Do you want to see that?
I would love to see that. I think
I'm
that
not
makes
breaking any news. I'm just saying. All right. What else? In the opener, offenses are kind of muckety-muck anyway. And I think the Steelers have the better defense, and they're going to have the better special teams. I know people are a little down on them. The preseason, they had a few punts returned a little, like 15 yards. I think this coverage unit's going to be great. I think the punter is going to be great. I think the place kicker is going to be great. I think it's all going to add up to outstanding special teams, and the kick returners are going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if Calvin Austin, the punt returner, or Scotty Miller. I'm not sure who's going to return punts. Tomlin was glowing. He didn't like the word glowingly, but he was speaking glowingly of Scotty Miller today. And I've been trying to tell people he's not Ryan Switzer, he's not Gunner. He's stronger, he's burlier, and he's faster too. I know he's just as white as those guys. Everybody runs to that comparison because Scotty Miller and Tomlin. So Tomlin was glowingly speaking of Scotty and Van Jefferson today.
Mm-hmm.
After he had to tell the wide receiver room off, and after they spent the whole preseason chasing another receiver.
Yeah.
But I like Scotty Miller, and if he's the punt returner, cool. Calvin Austin, I think he's a good punt returner too. The kickoff returners could be special. And I think special teams and defense can go a long way in an opener like this if you can get to that statue. And if Russ can hit some big plays. And also, Atlanta has a new coach, new coordinators, and the Steelers have the coordinator who knows all the players on Atlanta.
This is true.
So he's trying to downplay that. And hey, maybe the players know him, but I don't know if it helps that the players know the coach, but the coaches behind the players, like Raheem Morris, don't really know Arthur Smith as well as the players do. I don't know if that's going to help the players formulate a game plan, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to say about this game. Oh, and even the Steelers are practicing with the noise against their offense. I like when they know that the stadium's going to be packed with Steeler fans, they they use the noise at their practice facility against their defense. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that'll happen the rest of the week, but aren't you expecting a lot of Steelers fans in Atlanta?
I had in my notes here that the last time they played, that it was resoundingly Steelers fans outnumbering Falcons fans. Yeah. So I mean, I don't see that as being an edge for the Falcons. I mean, it's going to be a home field advantage for the Steelers.
Hey, we never expected, and you were here, we never expected all those 49ers fans last year.
No, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I'm glad
I
we're
remember,
opening on the road this year.
I remember walking in and looking at all the 49ers jackets on the sidewalk. I said, I know this team's gotten better, but this is a long way to come, and there's really no 49ers bars around here.
I
You know,
I think that was the omen, Jim. We should have knew right away in that home opener that something's wrong, something's off when you have a team. They were chanting "Let's go Niners," and it echoed throughout Acrisure. Yeah, that was bad. And I had some jerk behind me from San Francisco that kept like turning the knife, man. Every play they made.
I don't know why we didn't get him on our podcast.
Yeah, it's
Jeremy,
true.
I can't be the guy with all the ideas here.
I
You
know.
gotta turn around and say, "Hey, dude, you're coming on our podcast. We're going to talk about this."
Yeah, yeah.
But no, but I mean, this just seems like such a logical place for Steelers fans. Atlanta, how are the Atlanta Braves doing in baseball? I mean, I
I
I,
don't.
I know baseball inside and out. You don't know?
I, I'm
Either of us-
I'm
I,
Steelers year round, man.
I think they're one of the best teams.
Okay.
And Atlanta, they follow their baseball. And I know there must be some excitement about Kirk Cousins, but the Falcons are a consistent downer for that city. I don't see them getting excited even for Kirk Cousins. I think the Steeler fans are going to buy a lot of tickets, and I think it's going to help defense and special teams. What was the score the last time when Pouncey played that opener? Or didn't they play the Falcons in the opener like 4 years ago? It's like, I don't know. So like 15-9. Maybe it was the Pouncey year. Maybe that dude will get in the comments and fix our stuff up.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need
Yeah.
a proofreader in the comment section.
The last time they played, it was 1916. I do the couple plays that stand out from that game. I'm going to butcher his name again. And how many years we've been doing this, and I'm just Pittsburgh Pat Frere Muth.
Stop
Damn it,
saying
I can't
Freyer.
say
Stop saying Freyer.
Fryer Muth.
Mute.
Fryer Muth.
Easy.
Gosh,
It's easy.
my dad's going to yell at me again.
Oh,
But
good. I hope he kicks your ass.
he's going to. But he caught a nice pass and ran like 40 yards with it. But Najee had a big game against the Falcons back in 22. So maybe we'll see more of that.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but the line has to do its job.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised Jaylen had big games, and Justin Fields, I would expect. I'm not telling you I see anything in practice with Justin Fields. They just work him in and out. They worked him a lot in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
They shuttled in training camp. That was a long time ago, and that was for the public.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything I've seen in practice. I'm just saying I would not be surprised to see Justin Fields get in there and run the ball too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's definitely exciting. And here we are, Sunday, 1:00 in Atlanta. The Steelers are going to kick off their regular season. Do you want to throw any predictions out there, Jim? Or I know you're big on the lines and the betting. Anything?
Well, I took the Steelers in as soon as this thing came out at plus 3 points.
Okay.
I took the Steelers, and it started getting bet down. It got down to like 1. I might even got down to a pick 'em. And I was like, yep, I'm smart, like the other got smart, the smart money. I was first. Then Russell gets hurt in training camp, and training camp starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Russell gets hurt a little bit. One offensive lineman goes down. No receiver gets picked up. Now it's got bet back up to 3. But I think that's all. What do they call that kind of money? Not the smart money, but what do they call that? Not the rubes, the squares. The squares.
Okay.
I think it's all the squares bet in Atlanta because looking at the Steelers' injuries, Atlanta's got home field advantage, Kirk Cousins. But, a lot of times your first instinct is right. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the Steelers +3.
And I'm going to go with that stat that you threw out here just a little bit ago, 3-0 with a rookie center. I like that.
Hey,
I got to go with the centers, man.
When they win with Kendrick Green at center, man, I mean, I like Kendrick. He was a nice dude. I'm not mocking him, but I'm just saying.
Man, I'm glad those days are over. Glad those days are
They
over.
won the opener with him.
Yeah.
Who'd
All
they
right.
beat? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they beat. But I think it's going to be low scoring, and I like the Steelers. It's defense and special teams, and then Russ finds a way.
All right. Well, we'll be back here next week to talk about that game and also to preview the Broncos, right? Week 2 is going to be Steelers in Denver. That's going to be a hell of a game. But that's going to do it for episode 122. Jim, anything you want to plug or put out there as we close up?
No, we got the special going on in Steel City Insider. I got a book coming out October 1st. I'm going to be boring you guys with plugging that thing, so let's not plug it today yet.
All right. We won't plug it today, but that's going to do it for us. Good luck to the Steelers out there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share with your family and friends, and we'll see you back here next week for episode number 123 of the Steel City Insider podcast. Take care, everyone. Jim, have a great week. See ya.
Have a great week, Jeremy.
Take care.